I'll have it stirred for an hour.
YouTube's going to run
online.
Yes,
This is the camera. We are going to be running on YouTube Live, Facebook Live.
Something's not right.
What?
Chill out for a few seconds. I need to call that.
Oh no! What do you mean chill out? It's going to start. It's going to start. It's not right. What does he mean? YouTube isn't.
Actually, you know what? I can fix it here.
What is it? YouTube again?
No, YouTube's fine. YouTube's great. It's. Is he logged in now? No, he's not. Okay. I just need to open these.
If everything went as planned, life would be boring.
No problem with that.
Okay, we're good.
Sounds bored.
We've got about a minute now.
It's your time out there through the afternoon, heating up, but still not too humid. Highs 91 to 93 tonight. Lows back into the lower middle 60s for one more night.
Yeah, you put it where it's comfortable for you.
Can I turn it? Yeah, that way. That's perfect.
Well, mine's the side, but
And there's feedback in my headphones, like a lot of static. You don't hear that, do
a
you?
lot of what?
Static?
No, you're having static? She's having static?
Might just want to take them off.
Maybe we should skip your earphones then.
Perfect.
It's always something.
That's not a big deal. That just helps you hear what's going on.
NASCAR contest. If you guess it, you'll hear your name.
Oh, actually, he's got more time left.
We're not. We have more time than you said.
No, you don't. It's more time than I thought.
Are you okay, Russell?
No.
I should have brought you some coffee.
Yes.
Is this sad? This is Saudi Daisy ad.
Yeah.
And shooter supply 4824 Hickson.
Is David coming in at all?
No idea.
Okay. He didn't text me at 7 o'clock in the morning, at
He
least.
texted me at 6:30.
Oh, like David.
You gotta knock it off.
Good morning and welcome to the Art Beat of Chattanooga, where art lives. We're going to talk about all things art, downtown Chattanooga, why Chattanooga is awesome, how much we love it, what to do when you're here. We're here today with Dion Jennings from the Bessie Smith Cultural Center, and we're going to be talking about the current exhibit there. So it's a wonderful exhibit, and tonight Bessie Smith Strut is, or that's the event they just had. Bessie Smith Cultural Center has involvement with First Fridays, 5 o'clock. You can go out on there, hear live music. There's food vendors, there's a car show, and you can also, is the museum open during that time?
The museum is not open during nightfall, no.
All right, so not during nightfall, but you can go down there and start enjoying your evening with your family at 5 o'clock down at the Bessie Smith Strut Center, and then wander over to Miller Plaza at 7 for nightfall, where there's live music until 10 o'clock. So as always, Chattanooga's rocking on the weekends. There's things to do. The weather's beautiful. Come on out and enjoy downtown. Tomorrow night is First Friday, and there's about 15 art galleries that will be having open galleries with the artists there to meet and greet, cheese and crackers, wine. Ava has their grand reopening tomorrow night at 6, and that's located right on Fraser Avenue, down by the Walnut Street Bridge. And a lot of local artists, members of Ava, are showing in that, including myself. So come down and support Ava and local art tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on Fraser Avenue, and the other galleries that are involved in the gallery hop. You can just pretty much Google it and you'll get a list. You can Google anything about Chattanooga, Nooga.com, Ava, First Fridays, Bessie Smith. You're going to just come up with anything to do, just Googling a few different things. So really excited to have Dion here today, and I was able to visit the museum this week and walked in on a luncheon, a thank you luncheon for the volunteers that helped with the Bessie Smith Strut event. That's an annual event. and was served delicious food with warm greeting hugs and smiles, and also received a personal tour of the show that's currently up. And I'm going to let Dion introduce that show and give us a basic overview of what's happening right now with the Bessie Smith Cultural Center.
Well, great. Thank you so much. I'm Dion Jennings, president at the Bessie. And right now we have Negro League Baseball in Chattanooga. That is the current show that we have up. We try to bring new shows in once a quarter. And what I like most about Negro League Baseball in Chattanooga is I've had an opportunity to meet several Negro League players that played, and to see their face light up when they walk in and see this exhibit and they see their old jersey, or they see their gloves, or they've been reuniting with one another. And we've had an opportunity to take that out into the YFD centers, the Youth and Family Development Centers, and we took 2 players out to Brainerd Rec this week. And the kids absolutely loved it. You're talking 8 through 13-year-olds who really didn't know anything about Negro League Baseball. And when we asked, there was a group of 40, and we asked them, do any of you play baseball or softball? And more than half of the room raised their hand. So for them not to know about Negro League Baseball, and then to have these players coming in talking about their experience, was wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really impressive exhibit with multiple windows of featuring different ball players and teams.
Yes.
And so I know you have from the left, what was that far left case? That was a very important display.
Yes, that first case was really about Jackie Robinson and his life and the movie 42, and that came to us out of Alabama. So what really impressed me about putting up this display is it's something that was curated through the Bessie. We did that internally, but we had a gentleman come in from Alabama to help and to make some donations, loans to us for that, as well as Carrollton, Texas. We had Dr. Ravel come in on a Sunday from Carrollton, Texas, and did a whole window display with us. He is the founder of the Negro Baseball Research Foundation in Carrollton, Texas.
That's so exciting. So there's a lot of people helping at the Bessie Smith Strut Center.
Yes.
As far as the staff, it's a small staff
Very
of 5. And these people, these ladies and men, dedicate their blood, sweat, and tears to this cause, and the volunteers as well that help out. So again, in Chattanooga, you find over and over again people who care, people who are volunteering their time
Yes.
and working to promote causes. And along in that current exhibit, the Negro League Baseball exhibit, is a UTC professor, Billy Weeks,
Yes.
who is an international photographer. And he goes all over the world, especially impoverished areas like El Salvador. And he does black and white photography that's not posed. It's real life, almost. It's journalism. He's been at gunpoint. He's risked his life to go get these photos. And the way that Dion walked me through the exhibit of Billy Weeks' work there, which is his baseball, it's a
Dominican baseball
exhibit, and he went to the Dominican and he photographed these kids real time, real life. It's a gorgeous, stunning black and white exhibit. And I thought it was really neat if Dion could share the way you hung as curators and chose to display Billy's work. And we started with a picture of a handgun.
Yes.
With a child pointing a gun at another child.
Exactly. And that picture is so provocative that we had people ask us, why do you have a picture of one child pointing a gun at another child? But if you walk through the photographic story with Billy's photos, you see those kids had nothing else. So they resorted to crime, but then they were introduced to baseball. And you walk through that story and you see them going through the neighborhood, learning to play baseball, watching the games, and it ends with a team victory. So there's a little raggedy pickup truck that the whole team is riding through the town in, but it looks like they just won the world championship.
Yeah, and for these kids, they did. And we were joking. I joked about. I said, "That's their limo.
Their
You know,
limo.
a rusted pickup truck that they're all in the back of." And when Dion says barren, when you look at these photos, you see there's almost no foliage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fields of dirt and cement walls. And kids, you can tell that they really don't have much material things. And the joy and the look on their faces in these pieces is just captured with the intensity of the boys looking directly at the baseball, coming right at him.
Right at them.
And other photos that really, just even if you could just see the Billy Weeks, it's worth it. But the whole exhibit is amazing.
Yes, and I have to give credit to Dan Creed. Dan is a local historian from right here in Chattanooga that does Negro League baseball history. I mean, he is all about the players. And in our third case that we didn't mention, we have all of his gloves. They are from his personal collection. Yes. And without Dan Creed, we would not have had this exhibit. So we've enjoyed working with him, and it's something worth seeing. It will be at the museum until July 30th. And we're open Monday through Friday from 10 to 5, Saturdays from 12 to 4. And it is worth admission to come in just to see the Negro League exhibit.
Yeah, I think it's only $7, and there's group rates, if I understand, from 10 or more people, only $3 a piece for a group.
Yes.
The museum contains much more than this exhibit, and even somebody who's like me, who's not really into sports, a case of ball gloves may not sound exciting, but it's amazing to see all the varieties of gloves, how they've evolved and changed, and some of the earlier ones just look like this giant, you know, puffy mitt. It's very, very thick, and so it's very interesting. And the rest of the exhibit that I need to go back and spend a lot more time with, there's things that we saw there, Dion, that I don't think people really even think about. And I have to say, one thing is, it felt uncomfortable for me to say Negro League baseball, because I have been taught to say black.
Right.
And currently in society, it's
African American
now.
African American. Yes. But when it was baseball back then, in that early time, it was called Negro League baseball, because there was a difference between the Negro League and the regular league. We looked at that photograph of Ingalls Stadium. They were not allowed to play at Ingalls Stadium. There was Negro seating. There was a Negro entrance at that time. So that's the time period in which we're referencing, and that's where that name came from.
Yes, and in that photograph that Dion is mentioning, the Negro seating probably takes up, I would say, about 1/8 of the seating for the rest of the population, where the larger seating is covered by a roof or overhang to provide shade and shelter, whereas the black seating is just this little benches, little section, nothing above it, with a totally separate entrance. And it just really brought me back to when I was younger and times were different. I know that awareness is always improving, acceptance of one another as human beings, but this museum really brings to bear the history of what's gone on in our nation and the world concerning slavery. And in that permanent exhibit is a shackle that looks like it could fit around an elephant's leg. And they would use that on slaves. Mm-hmm. And then would you tell, I'm sorry, I'm not even announcing, I'm so excited about this exhibit that I've not even told you, you know, basically the Art Beat of Chattanooga. I'm Jillian Collins, the host. This is Hot News Talk Radio. AM 1240. You can tune in right now to our website live on Facebook. You can tune in on the radio at 1240 AM. You can tune in on Facebook and see us feeding live right now with Dion Jennings from the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. So there's a lot of ways to get involved. You can call. You have a question, you have a comment, I'd love you to give us a call and talk to Dion today. 423-800-8949. 423-800-8949. So just kind of lost myself there in excitement about this exhibit, and kind of an emotional response to going there and seeing history right before my eyes. So can we talk about the doll?
We can, yes. So the doll that you saw is called a topsy-turvy doll. And so the way that the doll works is it's all one doll, but it's black on one side and white on the other. And with the black dolls, the black slave children were not allowed to play with white dolls. So if you look at their parents who were caregivers, typically for the white children, if their children were in there, they could not play with a white doll. So the mothers came up with this idea of creating a doll that was multicolored. So if the little girl wanted to play with the white doll when she was home, the dress of the doll would cover the black side, and she could play with the white doll, and then she could flip it over, and there was a black doll, and the dress would cover the white doll. So it's a 2-for-1, and that's just ingenious.
So these moms knew their children's needs and desire, and their playmates were white, and their you know, friends of the master's children. Some of these children were also children of the masters that were actually fathered in through the slave community. And so these dolls literally have two heads, you know, they don't have feet. There's a head, and then the other side is a head, and then the dress falls over either doll. So the child could then play with the white doll when the master would come. That's what you shared, that they would literally flip that dress so he couldn't see them playing with their white doll, and they would just have the black one there. So that's the kind of thing that is in the history of our country that really I didn't know about. And it's just there at the Bessie Smith Cultural Center, so many interesting parts of African-American history in our country just to be seen. And you will have a curator who can walk you through and kind of give you a tour, fill you in on things, what they mean, what they were for. So it's a fantastic place.
We appreciate you coming out and for helping us to talk about the Bessie and about the many cultural things that we offer there. Currently, we have an exhibit up on First Baptist Church, the oldest Black church in Chattanooga, celebrating their 150th anniversary. And we are giving tours between the Bessie Smith Cultural Center and the church. So they are, to walk through that church is just amazing and phenomenal. And in our exhibit, we were able to work with them to get the programs from when the church first started, photographs of every last pastor that they had in their church. And if you call in advance, we can schedule for you to not only come to the Bessie and see our exhibit, but then take you to the church and allow you to walk through the church and see their exhibit and to see the actual church itself. But they've curated a whole exhibit inside the church for their anniversary.
Wonderful. Is that included in the admission? Or
it is.
What a deal.
Yes. So if you, like you said earlier, a group of 10 or more, it's just $3 a person. We just need to know in advance to ensure that there is somebody at the church and have it open for you. But we will do that.
So Chattanooga is so rich with culture, and African-American history is a big part of our culture. And I really encourage you to go see that exhibit at the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. And you just had the Bessie Smith Strut.
We did. So that is our annual fundraiser, big blues party, down MLK. We had 30 vendors this year, which was great. Live music, 2 stages, wonderful blues acts. And it's just a way to bring the community together and just celebrate art and culture through entertainment. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, young, old, straight, gay. None of that matters. Socioeconomics, we just all come together to have a good time. And I love the strut every year. And you mentioned our luncheon that we had every day. We are very small staff. 1 full-timer, 4 part-timers. We could not put on this event, which had over 3,000 individuals this year. We couldn't do that with our staff. So it takes a lot of volunteers, and we had a thank you luncheon for our volunteers because we appreciate the effort that they put into it. I mean, they sat out there in the heat and sold tickets and beer and escorted people to and from locations and provided directions, and that's important to us. And we love our volunteers, and that was just our way of giving back and thanking them for their time.
The food was wonderful, chicken and green beans and mashed potatoes and peach and apple cobblers, sweet and unsweetened iced tea. And of course, as my mom always says, I had the knack to show up immediately, exactly on time for lunch. When I was starving, I had no idea there was going to be food, but these people graciously fed me as well.
Yes.
It was wonderful. So we're here with Deon Jennings from the Bessie Smith Cultural Center, Negro History, Negro League Baseball History exhibit, currently there until July 30th. So you've got a lot of time to get over there, and you can also see the First Baptist
Church, oldest Black church in Chattanooga.
Just give them a call, schedule getting in there with a group of 10, $3 a piece. It's worth seeing. So this is Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You can tune in on our website. Click the YouTube link to see us live. You can go to our Facebook page to see us live. You can listen on your radio at 1240 a.m. And you can also use your TuneIn radio app to anywhere in the world to hear the show right now. So we're just excited about Chattanooga, and volunteering in Chattanooga it's almost an industry.
It really is.
I went to the Signal Center yesterday with a group of artists from the Art Gallery, and we did paintings with the children there, the disabled children and the wonderful kids there. And just, again, a big group of volunteers, people who just want to get involved and want to help. And that's what helps run the Bessie Smith Cultural Center, even Riverbend, there was tons of volunteers. And Nightfall, I know there are volunteers as well. So all over Chattanooga, that's, I guess, an avenue. How do you find out all the agencies that need volunteers? You're in the industry.
Yes, I serve on an advisory council for the Center for Nonprofits, and they have a website.
Center for Nonprofits.
Yes, so if you go to cnpchat.org, they have a whole website full of volunteer opportunities. And I Help Chattanooga is also a site where you can find volunteer opportunities. But volunteerism is a must in Chattanooga. That's actually how I got my start at the Bessie. When I moved here, my very first event that I attended was at the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. Enjoyed the event, found out how I could become a volunteer. So I volunteered for a few years, joined the board of directors, and then found myself as the president of the organization a few short years later. But volunteerism is a great way to give back. This is such a philanthropic city, so you don't always have to donate dollars. Your time is just as important. It's a valuable resource.
We need the bodies, and I have to say a lot of the Chattanooga businesses do sponsor and fund a lot of these amazing music events that go on downtown, and I'm thankful for all of that. And exactly what Deanna's saying, volunteerism, it starts in the heart of passion, of wanting to give, and in this universe, energy creates energy. Motion creates doors. If you're not moving, if you're not doing something, you're not going to do anything. So if you step forward and volunteer, you're going to find your heart and your life connecting to other people, and you're going to be able to help people here in Chattanooga and beyond. So this is a very giving city. It's an exciting city.
It is.
It's a beautiful city with one of the longest walking bridges in the world. Still, it was the longest when they built that bridge, and now we still have one of the longest, connecting the now north and south shores. You can bring your lady downtown, you can go to dinner, you can take her to the Bessie Smith Strut Museum, and tomorrow night for free you can go down and hear live music at the Bessie Smith.
Yes, Nightfall. So we're excited for the opportunity to partner with Chattanooga Presents. So we did one Nightfall with them last year, kicking off 4th of July weekend. And they came back this year and said, would you do the first Friday of every month? And we said, certainly. So from 5 to 7, right on our front lawn, it's free live music. So we have local artists that are performing this Friday. Jimmy Allgood, he's known as Chattanooga's own great R&B soulful voice. And we also have Daryl Kelly from Sound Advice. It's wonderful music. It's free, family friendly. So come on down, bring your lawn chairs, bring your blankets. We have food. There will be food vendors out there, beer, soft drinks, water. There's usually an icy truck out there. You want some shaved ice. But it's just a great way to come out and have some free fun.
Yeah, and there's a nice big grassy lawn in front of the building. So your kids can play, and there's, meter parking is free after 6.
Yes.
So it's a great way to get started on Friday night at Nightfall. So thank you so much, Deanna, for joining us today from the Bessie Smith Cultural Center on Hot News Talk Radio, the Art Beat of Chattanooga, where art lives. And we're very excited to share what's coming up in Chattanooga. The fireworks, which I want to very quickly cover, Saturday night at Lake Winnipesaukee, Sunday Pops on the Lake, Monday the Lookouts game, and Lake Winnipesaukee. So go out and see the fireworks.
We'll make it easy on you. Lake Winnie.
Lake Winnie. Have a great weekend and a wonderful, safe 4th of July. Thanks for joining us today on the Art Beat of Chattanooga.
There you go. Excellent.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Just call it Lake Winnie.
Everyone will know.
Done. Everybody will know.
I'm stumbling over my words today.
That's okay. You were excited. That was good stuff.
I don't usually.
That's what you want.
Hi.
But I think it flowed well.
Oh, it went wonderful, Deanna.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still supplements.
We can do that. We'll have your phone.
This is Sean Jennings from the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. Emily and Jolly, and this is the house campus.
Oh, nice.
Local, it's wonderful campus, which is just growing.
Does he have a physical location?
Well, we do.
We don't do
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
just in our garage.
That's a great place to be.
$15 off a screw repair.
I usually do that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm drinking all my MC and oil and everything. Brain fades. I totally forgot to announce the station. I went, oh my
I'm
god.
gonna leave
You're
these
fine.
with you. Feel free to pass them out to anybody who knows something about. We do. Yes. It's before nightfall, so we kick off nightfall. It's called Rock the Block. It's the first Friday of every month, so our pay to off. Yeah, so we'll do July 1st from 5 to 7, and then we push the crowd down the street to nightfall, and then we'll do August 5th. Yes. Come check us out. Several little bars that we have. Art Crawl. Have they told me where?
I don't know. And I know Art Gallery. Did you bring any in the show?
No. If you want.
And if you want to save money, pick that side right now.
If you want to bring a table, bring a table and sell some tables out there tomorrow night on our lawn. 5 to 7. You can set up as early as 3:30, no problem. Just trying to get you.
Can I bring my donuts?
Please do. Please do. Yeah. I love that. We want to animate the lawn. We also do food trucks on Mondays. So we work downtown at the micro.
Y'all can go choose.
Yeah, she was really good.
She is good, man. We had such a great time when I met her and went to the exhibit with her. It was awesome.
She sounds great on the radio, too.
Yes. She's a special lady. It's really worth seeing the exhibit.
I'm sure.
It really is. And we'll go back because I had to kind of have a fast version.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had to go on sales calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Plus I got to go in free.
Friday, 5 to 7. Food trucks are Monday from 11 to 2.
All right. I gotta get you guys up to the mic and get that set up.
Maybe we'll just like once a month, so like
Thank you.
get some exposure.
I will try to come to the next Friday.
Definitely.
I have to wait this week. Thank you.
All right. Yes.
I mean,
August 5th is the last one, so come out. Come out. All right. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure. Don't be a stranger.
Give Marty one for me.
Will do.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Come on in here, we're gonna make sure the mic is set up for you. The earphones are gonna skip because they're being weird. I don't want to talk, I'm just here to listen to Joey. Okay, well, let's set the mic up for Joey.
Man, I wish I would have known there was a feed. You said talk radio.
Hello, it's a viral world.
Yeah.
That's
true.
all right, you'll
Let's
be
just
fine.
not talk about how we didn't bring stuff.
No, we won't.
Okay.
We won't, we'll just describe the candles and everything, it's fine.
Cool.
It's fine.
Checking the volumes,
Yeah,
checking the
well,
levels.
no, I'm just getting it set up because I want you to, I just disinfected it. And I basically want you as close and in front of the mic as possible. And, you know,
Emily, you gotta come in here and look at this.
Does
'Cause
that
you
feel
are,
natural for
you
you?
are gonna say something.
She has to say something.
You will say something, so.
See if it just works
make
for
sure
you.
that it's-
It's a little high for her, but we'll just do this.
You guys get as close as you can.
You have to, if, when you do speak, you have to be right here. Is I clean? No.
You think you might not be, but.
No.
I think we'll be.
No,
All right, so I basically give some, a couple of announcements and I'll stop and introduce, the radio stats and things in the middle of things because that's what you're supposed to do. And I'll just kind of guide you through things. And then when you want to get rolling on something, just talk about what excites you. You know, just when, you know, you just moved. I mean, that's huge. So we can talk about that. You're expanding, you're growing. Where did you go from to? Where are you going to?
all these should be simple questions, but they're hard for me to. I'm really bad at explaining myself. That's why like it's. I don't know. If
You
you've
can
been in
just
my
sit
garage
around.
for
You can
3
just
years.
stand like in the middle and look pretty.
Well, that's why I bring him. I can do that.
You can just
Hi,
stand and look pretty.
Kendall. We don't even do that anymore.
What I do. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we might as well try and be in the visual field at least, and then if
Okay,
we
so
do.
what is this? The visual field is going
This is
where?
the vision. This is the camera, and then he's also going to be over here with the Facebook feed going out on his phone. So, you know, I ignore the camera mostly.
Okay. If we do this again, I'll definitely advertise
Yeah,
that
no
to get people
problem.
watching.
Yeah, this is a first. We're going to cycle through and we'll do it again.
Cool.
Absolutely.
If I
I'm
remember.
learning too. This is my 8th show, I think.
All right.
So it's just like,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Exciting.
you know,
Super fun.
so
I think, isn't this where Wendy's or Wendy from New Mountain Gallery?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't.
Probably NPR or something.
Okay.
So, but there will be, if you share the stuff off Facebook and YouTube, it will show you about kind. Welcome back to the Art Beat of Chattanooga, where art lives. AM Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. You can tune in on the radio at AM 1240. You can go to our website, Hot News Talk Radio, click the YouTube link to see us live. You can go to our Facebook page and see us feeding live right now. We're here today with Rustic House. So there's a local entrepreneur company that's growing in Chattanooga. They make candles and they're wonderful, and they've just moved. So we're going to talk to them about what's happening with local entrepreneurism in Chattanooga. It's part of the arts. These folks are down at the market every week supporting the arts in Chattanooga. They work very hard, and this company, if you could introduce yourself, Jelly, to
Hey.
everybody.
My name is Kelly Turner. Some people call me Jelly, but whatever's clever.
I'm going with Jelly, I guess. So, and
Jelly it is.
Emily says she's not going to talk, but we're going to make her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm
You're
the owner of Rustic House Candles.
So you're the founder, right? This is your baby, your brainstorm.
This is my baby. Yes, this is it.
All right. So how long ago, Jelly, did this business come to inception? When did Rustic House have its startup?
Started in 2013. At the house, Emily was experimenting in the garage of the first house, and then Chelsea, another co-founder, moved to town to help grow, and then Ashley and I joined shortly after, probably 6 months to a year after, to help with markets and to help with big accounts. We signed with Bilo when they were still a thing, and that's how I got the job and how I moved here and everything.
All right. So you've got candles all over Chattanooga, and you were a part of Harvest Grocery with the candles there. And as the community knows, that store didn't make it. So that's kind of been, how has that affected you? You know, it's only one store, but good, bad. How did being a part of Harvest affect Rustic House Candles growing or becoming known? Did it have an impact?
It had an enormous impact. The grocery store market in itself is a whole channel or avenue that we explore. We have boutiques, salons, and then grocery stores. Bilo was the first grocery store we were in, but Harvest was one of the first specialty stores. Now we're in the Village Market in Ottawa. We're also in Pruitt's on Signal Mountain, and I like to believe that we got practice from Harvest for these grocery store accounts.
Right. Well, I've said before, I was a manager at Harvest, and I actually found Rustic House there. Did we meet at the market? You guys, how did it come to be that we brought you in? I'm trying to remember that.
I think we met at Nightfall on the dance floor.
Keep running into Jelly or Kelly at all the music places. So, you know, this idea that we're all crazy hippies maybe is a little bit true, I suppose, in the art community, but not really. There's a lot of, these people are serious business entrepreneurs that have worked very hard, starting in Emily's garage. And just recently, how long ago, Kelly, did you guys relocate? And can you tell me what's happening with that? Because that's exciting.
Absolutely. June 1st, we moved out of the garage and, well, sorry, let me back up a little bit. Let's say a year before that, we moved out of the garage into a small apartment next to the garage. So that was the first expansion that we don't really talk about very much. But now, June 1st, we actually moved completely out of our home, completely out of our garage, and moved to the Business Development Center. We are now Suite 120 at 100 Cherokee Boulevard, and we can see the park, and people can smell us if they're hanging out at Renaissance Park now.
I imagine the neighbors are sorry to see their automatic aromatherapy gone.
Yes, they have to buy candles now.
Right,
for free.
right. So business park where you are. Can you announce that again? Because I just actually was Googling that, and that's a very important tool for business people like yourselves in Chattanooga. So would you tell us again, the listeners, one more time about that?
It's the Business Development Center located at 100 Cherokee Boulevard. We are Suite 120. It's official, that's the official name, but everybody knows it as the incubator. They have, I believe, 63 businesses currently that operate out of the Business Development Center. They offer really cool classes and helpful tips to grow our business. And there's an amazing team that has been very welcoming to us. And it's really cool because we are now expanding out of our friends and our house and really sharing ourselves with the business world and the Chamber of Commerce. And so it's been a really cool beginning to what we hope to be a really strong team over the next few years.
So it's a supportive development, supportive company that helps local entrepreneurs like this to learn, grow, learn how to go through the red tape hoops and all of that. But your hard work is what's really got you guys here. And what's a day in the life in this business? What's that like? We're on AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. You can tune in on Facebook. You can tune in on our Hot News Radio website and click YouTube, watch us live. You can go to your TuneIn Radio app and hear us worldwide. And of course, there's the standard. You always can listen in on your radio at AM 1240. And we're here with Rustic House Candles on the Art Beat of Chattanooga talking about this. And tell, what's a day in the life? You know, you're in the shop, you were in the garage, now you're in your shop. What's it like when you're doing all of this?
So the first thing about the Business Development Center I noticed was air conditioning.
Yay!
Yeah, because we were working up to 100+ degrees in the garage to make candles, which really slowed production. So that's the first thing I noticed. But a day in the life on our team, we have a really active team. So wake up, try and get out in the community and run or go to yoga classes at Clear Spring or any other places. But then we get to work because we know that we're going to be there for a while. And once we get there, we work together, we incubate now, I guess you could say, and create new ideas. And we have now grown to think about 8 people, 8 staff, including 3 interns. So our day, we get there, we set up the day, we have a meeting in the morning, and somebody's going to be researching, somebody's going to be out in the community talking to people, somebody's going to be making stuff, because everything we do is handmade.
Right, so all your candles are, they're made of, what are your candles made from? Tell our listener what the quality is. Why is Rustic House so special? Why are your candles so amazing? I know they're amazing because I've used them and they're wonderful, but can you tell the listener what makes this set apart from other candles?
Absolutely. So our candles are a clean burning, long lasting candle. We use a soy blend that we've tested over and over and created ourselves. We also have an all natural cotton wick. We have super fragrant candles. That's kind of like our niche. They can fill up a whole room, whether you use the wax melter tarts or you use our travel tins or our glass candles, they will all fill up your home.
Yeah, and then you also have a recycling program, do you not?
Absolutely, yeah.
So how does that work?
So when you buy our candle at any locations, you can take it back to us at the market and get $3 off your next candle. Yeah,
so when your glass is empty, you bring it back to these fine people at Rustic House and they will give you a $3 credit off your candle. Does that include the wooden lid that comes with them, or do you just want the glass jar? I always wondered about that.
Yeah. No, we recycle and reuse everything we can.
So just bring back the whole thing, and they're very beautiful candles, which are in a clear glass jar, and they have a wooden lid that fits very tight on there, so it's not going to fall off when you want it closed. They're very attractive and pretty as well, and they burn, I think, 40 hours or more.
40 to 60, yeah.
Yeah, they really are not like you go to a chain store and buy a candle and 2 days later it's gone. These things are amazing and they last. Clean burning soy. So the exciting thing is, another example of the entrepreneurism, the young people in Chattanooga who have such a drive and I think a professional approach to life. There's not that many people I'm meeting that are just out there partying their brains out. I mean, we all love concerts and having fun, but the local people in Chattanooga, this up and coming generation, I would say from 20s up through 35, 40, they're really putting it out there. They're starting local businesses. These are serious people learning, growing, joining together, creating a base, a community base. And that's just part of Chattanooga. Why come to Chattanooga? Because it's awesome. It's beautiful. It's awesome. There's people like Kelly, Jelly, Emily, myself, Dion, who was just here from the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. The beauty here is amazing. The bridges, the river, We got 3 nights of fireworks coming up, so you can't really get away from that. You've got the Pop on the River, that's on Saturday night, and then you've got Lake, what is that lake?
Like when?
Lake Winnie. You have Friday night, is it Friday? Yeah, Saturday night and Sunday night. No, Monday night is Lake Winnie and Saturday night is Lake Winnie. So, and the Lookouts game fireworks there also this week. So there's so much going on in Chattanooga.
On Sunday, actually, Collegedale is having a fireworks event with Ricky Skaggs playing music. And the Chattanooga market has teamed up with the city of Collegedale to create the Collegedale market, and we are vending that event.
Is that an existing market, or is this a brand new launch?
The Collegedale market takes place on Wednesdays, and they also have started one in Cambridge Square on Fridays to bring the Chattanooga downtown vendors out to Ooltewah, Collegedale. So the fireworks event has happened multiple years. Last year it was canceled by rain, so they're expecting huge crowds, especially with Ricky Skaggs playing. So
Yeah, which night is that happening, Kelly?
Sunday starts at 4 and goes to, I think, 10.
Okay, so you can again see all the local artists, artisans, all the creative people down there with their booths. I know a lot of people travel up from that area to the Chattanooga market, so I'm sure they're happy to have that more local as well. And go hear Ricky Skaggs, fireworks, all of that. And is Rustic House going to be present?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, so you can support Rustic House there as well. So in the move, I mean, I'm curious, we talked about what you do every day, but when you're actually making your candles, you're talking heat, do you have a large vat? I mean, what is that mechanically kind of like?
Okay, so imagine like half of a hot tub. Half of the hot tub is full of hot wax. And then we have all of our oils separate, and then I mix it with our ratio. It's like a special ratio that Emily created and taught me. And then you pour them like you're pouring a glass of wine. It takes about an hour to dry, and then when they're dry, you know, then the next step is boxing.
So you have you must have a tool that holds the wick upright and all of that too.
No, we do all of it by hand.
You just pour it and you hold the wick in place with your hand?
Something like that.
Wow. Okay. Wow, it's pretty great. So
I can't tell you all my secrets.
Trade secrets. We don't want to share those too much. So yeah, I know. So would you say that this business, is this something you're looking at growing more? Where is this heading for you folks with Rustic House?
Yeah, so we are always trying to grow. We believe candles are our start. It's our beginning. We are not the Rustic House candle company. We are the Rustic House. So one day we want to start moving into home goods and to create a whole atmosphere or vibe or whatever you want to call it, that is the Rustic House.
Okay.
That includes smell too. Yeah.
Right. And some people, you know, the Art Beat of Chattanooga, there's the craftsmen and there's the fine artists in the theater, etc. The definition of art is creating to evoke an emotional response in a person. And that's what I'm hearing from you. You do this because you want people to enjoy it. You want to create a feeling for them, meet a need where they may want to just enjoy a feeling. So, you know, it is art, and it is also local economy. And we're very big. I'm very big on the Art Beat of Chattanooga, the station itself here, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, very supportive to the local economy. And in Chattanooga, it's exploding with local people who are building businesses from the ground floor, just learning, growing, taking a risk, you know, not working a traditional job and taking a life risk and stepping out there and supporting and believing in their dream. So kind of manifesting it as we go here. So that's pretty exciting. So are you been in Chattanooga the whole time? Has Rustic House been based here, or did it start somewhere else?
Chattanooga is the base of Rustic House. Yes, this is where we started.
Okay, so 2013 you started only? So that's growing pretty quickly for you guys then.
Yeah, we are movers and shakers, I like to say, and we get around and we try and meet everybody. We don't really know any strangers.
That's great.
And so it started in Chattanooga, which this community has been amazing to us and supported us. A lot of people out there have even come and worked for us that are our friends or in the community. And now our next step is to just take what we have here in Chattanooga and spread it nationwide.
Yep, and it's interesting because as our last guest was leaving, Deon Jennings from the Bessie Smith Cultural Center, and Rock the Block is tomorrow night at 5. She literally reached out and invited Rustic House to come down and set up a table on the lawn during Rock the Block tomorrow and have their Rustic House candles there. So
that's how it works.
It's just one positive connection after the other. When you seek to improve your life and help improve others' lives, which is what I'm hearing from these folks. You know, it's all about connection. It's all about meeting people, helping people. So it's just really exciting to see all this kind of thing happening and one connection building to another. So
Thanks.
are you going to be able to set up tomorrow there, or you have plans?
We'll see. I mean, my only plans were nightfall, so this is cool. This is happening every first Friday at Bessie Smith's. So.
Right, and that's over at 7, so you could technically set up and still get yourself over to Nightfall. And that
Absolutely.
is free. Nightfall's free every single week, free music. You got a local band at 7. Well, first you got 2 bands at the Bessie Smith Center, then a local band at the Miller Plaza, and following that around 8:30 a national band, and I didn't look up who's playing. You can just Google Nightfall and see the entire list for the summer. But that's just always a great event. Families, fountains, get a beer if you want. Dogs, motorcycles. I mean, if you like motorcycles, you've got to go down and just walk through the cycles, because there's hundreds of them parked over there, and they all just kind of hang out and look at everybody's bikes, and it's, you know, kind of grunt type thing with the guys. So that's pretty awesome. So
I will say this though, we have a new website. It's www.therustichousellc.com. We also are on Facebook under the same name. Instagram is at The Rustic House, and Twitter, The Rustic House as well. And every day we have a social media team that posts where we are, what time we're going to be there, and with directions of how to get there as well. So when we are available to set up for events, you will know about it.
So if someone wants to just Google you and they don't remember the website, if you Google Rustic House, it's going to bring up all the links to go find you guys, right? Yeah, so it's very easy today. You know, back when I was a kid, if I asked my dad a question, a definition, well, go get the dictionary or go get the encyclopedia. It's like, now they're like, what's an encyclopedia? It's Google. So, you know, there's, you can just really look any of this up and it's going to guide you right to it. And so I did meet these people at Harvest Grocery when I was a manager there, and it was really just impressed. And I know I met Emily and Chelsea first, and they left the candles there with myself and the department manager, and I was in love. You know, the first one I ever burned. I'm trying to think what's my favorite scent. I don't even know. I really love the farmer's market one.
The lemongrass and sage.
Always love lemongrass and sage. And the Southern Silk was very popular. What's your most popular current scent?
I would say that it is the Southern Silk name, but it is called now Signature Scent.
Signature Silk?
Yeah, Signature Scent.
Signature Scent.
It was called Southern Silk amongst other names, but now it's been the staff favorite, town favorite, your favorite, and then we'll call it the Signature because we like it.
That's nice. So it's kind of your preferred scent that everyone has been your most popular. That's wonderful.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're kind of addicting. Once you try a real candle, it's kind of like, you know, well, getting a hamburger at a drive-through or going and sitting down at a burger place that specializes getting a burger. There's no comparison. It's just that different. So really excited to have you guys come on today. And what is your next event? Where are you showing this weekend or week that you'd like to tell anybody? And maybe go through your website one more time because it is new.
Absolutely. So you can always find our candles on our website. It's therustichousellc.com. This Sunday, we're going to be in 2 places at once, which I love. We're at the Chattanooga Market, which is every week. We are there from 11 to 4. And then we're going to Collegedale to set up for Collegedale fireworks 4 to 10. And then Pepper Place down in Birmingham, Alabama is on Saturday. So you can catch that. So, you know, if you got friends and family down in Birmingham, let them know that we're coming. We're going to be there Saturday afternoon.
Sounds like the mover and shaker part of you guys is needed because you're packing and hauling all of these candles. You're hauling your equipment and your brochures, etc. So it's a lot of work. So you got some very dedicated people here. And yes, the Chattanooga Market every single Sunday, live music, free live music again. A great venue. You've got the pavilion, so you have the shade, you have vendors on the outside as well. All manner of local artisans and crafts and beautiful things, vegetables, flowers, you know, so there's just always a good reason to go to the Chattanooga Market. And I've seen the Rustic House down there, I think, every single time I've been there. So you're pretty much in the same spot, right? Kind of toward the stage area.
Exactly. If you're coming in from the front, we're the last row, but it's where the crowd ends for the stage. You'll see us there.
Yeah, you really can't miss them. If you head toward the music, you're going to find Rustic House at the Chattanooga Market.
Perfect.
So, you know, and you can just really see all the beautiful candles they make and smell all the scents and talk to them about the whys. You know, I guess we have only a minute or so left, but was there a reason that drove you, a health reason or anything like that, to use the soy? Or were you just saying, I'm tired of these candles that burn for like 5 minutes and you wanted to create something amazing?
I would say it wasn't really about a health issue. It was just about the long-lasting qualities, the actual scent throw that we get from our soy that we use, and the fact that it burns all the way to the edge. There's no tunneling, which is the most annoying thing ever. Tunneling is leftover wax on the side of the candle. So we've made a recipe to make it long-lasting, clean burning, and just an overall awesome candle.
Yeah, I can attest that these candles burn. They will liquefy at the top, will liquefy, and they burn straight down. You do not end up with that trying to fuss with your wax and fuss with your wick. It's just light, and then put your cover over it. I usually just put the cover on it to put it out, and they do not create that, you know, tornado funnel down there that you're trying to get your lighter down into. So, and your whole house will smell beautiful.
Thank you, Jill.
Too. Yeah, so very exciting to have you on. This is the Art Beat of Chattanooga, where art lives, and we talk with artists and people who are maybe not necessarily considered artists, but they're in the field, they're in the craftsman field, they're producing things to create an emotional response in people. So it's just exciting to hear everything happening with the Rustic House, how they're growing, how hard they're working, a brand new location where they're getting support from the community to help grow their business. So I'm very excited you guys came on today, and go down and see them at the market, and then Collegedale Market, and then you're out of the state, did you say? Where? The Birmingham?
Yeah, Birmingham as well, and coming up in September, we're going to be in Ohio at the Country Living Fair as well.
So you're getting around. These guys get around, so that's fantastic. Get out and see the fireworks this weekend. Please be safe for this 4th of July. Have a good time, hydrate, and enjoy all the free music in downtown Chattanooga, and try to visit First Fridays at the galleries as well. Thank you so much, Rustic House, for joining us today. Have a wonderful holiday.
It's awesome.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Good. Great.
So if I ever interview Emily, I'm going to strap her to the mic.
I told you. I was like,
And I gave her a shot and just said,
told you. I was
I
like,
don't want to pressure you, but you were, I respect that.
she's like blushing
No,
and thinking
I
about
know.
it.
I feel like
he made me come.